Welcome to Tasha D. Come and See channel. James Monroe, the fifth President of the United States, served from 1817 to 1825. Known for his foreign policy expertise, he played a key role in shaping early American history. Born in 1758 in Virginia, Monroe grew up during the Revolutionary Era. At just 18, he left college to fight in the American Revolutionary War, where he became a hero after being wounded at the Battle of Trenton. After the war, he studied law under Thomas Jefferson, which helped launch his career in politics. Monroe served as a senator, diplomat, and governor of Virginia before becoming president in 1817. His presidency, often referred to as the Era of Good Feelings, was marked by national unity and prosperity. He was easily re-elected in 1820, with virtually no opposition. Monroe's presidency is best remembered for the Monroe Doctrine, a foreign policy that warned European powers against further colonization or interference in the Americas. This doctrine would become a cornerstone of U.S. foreign policy for centuries. He also helped oversee the acquisition of Florida from Spain and worked on internal improvements like roads and canals to strengthen the nation. After his presidency, Monroe retired to Virginia but remained active in public life until his death in 1831. Today, he is remembered as a founding figure of American foreign policy and for his role in expanding the young nation. James Monroe, a statesman, soldier, and leader, helped lay the foundation for America's rise as a global power, ensuring the nation's independence and future prosperity. The American Colonization Society, ACS. During Monroe's presidency, the American Colonization Society, ACS, was formed in 1816 with the goal of resettling free African Americans in Africa. The ACS believed that former slaves and free African Americans would have a better opportunity for freedom and success in Africa rather than in the U.S., where slavery and racial discrimination persisted. Monroe was a supporter of this movement, viewing it as a solution to the growing racial tensions in the U.S. creation of Liberia. In 1821, under Monroe's administration, the ACS negotiated the purchase of land on the west coast of Africa. This area would eventually become Liberia. The first settlers arrived in 1822, and the colony was established with the intent to resettle free African Americans and formerly enslaved people. Monroe supported these efforts, and in recognition of his contribution, the capital city of Liberia was named Monrovia in 1824, after him. Monrovia, legacy in Africa. Monrovia remains the capital of Liberia today, and it is one of only two national capitals in the world named after a U.S. president, the other being Washington. D.C. Monroe's influence on the creation of Liberia tied his legacy to African history, even though the colonization effort was controversial. The Liberian settlers, known as Americo-Liberians, formed a distinct society that often clashed with the indigenous African populations. Controversy of the colonization movement. While the idea of resettling free African Americans in Liberia was promoted as a means of providing freedom, it was also rooted in problematic racial views. Many white Americans, including some supporters of the ACS, advocated colonization not out of concern for African Americans' well-being, but to remove freed black people from U.S. society, fearing they would incite slave rebellions or disrupt the social order. Some African Americans supported colonization as an opportunity for true freedom, while others opposed it, arguing that they had the right to live in the United States, their birthplace. The legacy of Monroe's involvement with Liberia is thus seen as both complex and controversial. Liberia's independence. Liberia eventually declared its independence in 1847, becoming the first independent African republic. The country's flag, government, and political system were modeled after the U.S., further cementing Monroe's indirect influence on Liberia's history. Legacy of Monroe in Liberia. Monroe's connection to Liberia remains a significant aspect of his legacy, especially in terms of foreign policy and the broader context of U.S.-Africa relations. Monrovia stands as a reminder of this unique, though controversial chapter in history. In summary, James Monroe's support of the American Colonization Society and the establishment of Liberia marked a significant chapter in U.S.-African relations. with the capital city Monrovia standing as a lasting symbol of his influence. However, the colonization movement and the founding of Liberia are also intertwined with the complexities of race, freedom, and identity in both American and African history. Like, share, subscribe.